A little bit of blues to get the, I don't know, are the blues, not is the blues, are the blues Tea Party music? Yeah. We're going to find out here on Tea Party Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Trento Vision, your host, Tom Trento. There's a bunch of people behind the scenes here. We have Joe in the booth, CJ in the booth, Michael over here, Mark over there, a couple of people on their way. This is not a one-man operation, as you're seeing. Our mystery guest, we'll talk to you in a minute. It's Friday on the, what is the date on our little clock 7th. There? There's our other guest who's late. You're late, guest. Guest, you're late, but that's okay. No problem. Friday afternoon traffic here in Boca Raton, Florida. That's where we're broadcasting from at the lovely station, radio station, WNN 1470 on your dial. If you're driving in your automobile, 1470 toward the right side of the dial, and it really is a great radio station. These guys do a great job, but we're rewiring it for them for the past 5 days, turning it into a television studio. You see, we're broadcasting this video live on the internet all over the world. It's going for your viewing and listening pleasure. We got a great show today, a couple of hardcore Tea Party activists. These are the guys getting things done. You're going to meet them shortly. But a little bit of our housekeeping. It is Friday. I want to tell you about our shows next week. Very important week. It's that infamous day in September, 9/11. Well, on Tuesday, it's 9/11 once again. We're going to have a remembrance of what occurred 11 years ago and 12 years ago, 11 years ago. We're going to start calling Tuesdays Military Day. We're going to honor the United States military. We think they're exceptional, notwithstanding what our administration is doing to these warriors. We think they're phenomenal. So every Tuesday we will honor our war heroes, warriors, men and women of all branches of service, starting next Tuesday. Then on Thursdays, we're going to bring in the God Squad. We're going to bring in people of faith, Jewish people, Christian people. We got a Jewish guy who doesn't like Christians. We're going to look at him a little while later. He's having a hard time here in South Florida these days. But on Thursdays, we're going to bring people of faith in here to get their view on politics. Because as we see it at Trento Vision, faith and politics are inextricably mixed together. You can't separate the two. You need to inform the political end of life and not have the state get involved in the religious end of life. We'll talk about those things. But on Monday of next week, we have a phenomenal consigliere to the United West, and to me personally, Peter Feynman, our great lawyer, will be here on Monday talking about the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention. Tuesday, as I said, is Democrat. I got the voice in my head is actually in this room today. You'll meet her shortly. I'm not allowed to say Democratic when it refers to the other party. That's a good point, actually. And I'm hearing it in other places, you know.
You are?
Jack
Joe's.
Yeah. Well, besides Jack. And then on Wednesday, myself and my brother from another mother, Alan Bergstein, he and I are debating, once again, a couple of leftist Democrat liberals. We'll be debating them at the Broward Public Library at 5 o'clock. I got yelled at yesterday because I said it was 7. Some of the organizers said, it's not 7, Tom, it's 5. 5 p.m. Wednesday, September 12th, Broward Public Library, 100 South Andrews Avenue. Only fits about 400 people. Come on out. You can join in the festivities. We'll be debating on which party can save America, basically. That's Wednesday of next week. But today, I want to tell you that you can listen to us on 1470 if you're from Miami to Fort Pierce or out to the Everglades, or if you're in your boat. You can put us on in your boat because the signal goes out over the water. But if you're not near a radio, you buy an iPhone, get that little app called iHeartRadio. Look for WNN in South Florida, and it plays beautifully digitally over your iPhone. And then at 8 o'clock every night, we're on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 11 o'clock for our friends in California. But the show is repeated on WNN 1470, 8 to 9 every night. And obviously, we want you to go to TrentoVision.tv, watch the show. It's archived immediately. call up all your friends and say, you got to watch this show. It's crazy stuff. But it's important stuff, as you know. So that's what's going on. Let me see if I got any other little details to take care of before we get into this. That's Tea Party Friday. Pour the tea, okay? We're going to take a look at the Tea Party. We're going to take a look at a couple of very serious activists here at the Tea Party Center in South Florida. And a great way, a phenomenal way, a wonderful way to introduce the Tea Party. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce the Tea Party for you. Then I'm going to take a few minutes and update you on Israel attacking Iran, because Israel is going to attack Iran. It's going to happen. And the Tea Party better be in a position to help the United States at that dire moment that Israel will find herself alone among the 200 nations on the globe. But right now, let's go to February 19th, 2009 at the Mercantile, at the Merc in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago, and it's a place where business is done. And a gentleman by the name of Rick Rant Santelli went off on the whole concept. Remember, the president took office January 20th, 2009. Just about 1 month later, after the stimulus bill and an effort to give everybody free mortgages, this gentleman, who was the business gentleman for CNBC, Rick Santelli, he was asked about it, and he starts out kind of calmly, and then he delivers his infamous rant. I'm hearing all kinds of noises. His infamous rant, and that laid the precedent for what is known as the Tea Party movement in the United States. Let's take a look at Rick on February 19th, 2000.
I'll tell you what, I have an idea. You know, the new administration's big on computers and technology. How about this, President and new administration? Why don't you put up a website to have people vote on the internet as a referendum to see if we really want to subsidize the losers' mortgages, or would we like to at least buy cars and buy houses in foreclosure and give them to people that might have a chance to actually prosper down the road, and reward people that could carry the water instead of drink the water.
Hey, Rick,
that's a novel idea.
Hey, Rick, did you?
What? Who thought of that?
Yeah, they're like putty in your hands. Did you hear?
No, they're not, Joe. They're not like putty in our hands. This is America. How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage that has an extra bathroom and can't pay their bills? Raise their hand. How about we all? President Obama, are you listening? How about we all?
Okay. Hey guys, before we get into this, just quickly, did you guys see that? I mean, we can show our guests right now. Let's go to our two guests here for a minute. We'll just show them. We won't tell their names yet. But we'll show them, and we're going to show them getting ready right here. I'm going to ask you one question. Did you guys see that live by any chance, or what was the first time you saw that rant, Rick's rant?
Saw it on television.
You did live?
On the news replay.
On the news replay. Oh, that's a good shot. We're experimenting with our cameras here at Trento Vision. That's a nice shot, actually. Good work. Yeah, what is that going in the background? Joe, in our control booth, we got somebody in the background coming through. Not us. Okay. This is our 5th day at Duct Tape Productions with our gear and making a radio station into a television show. So we thank you for bearing with us on some of our little bugs, and we let you see all the sausage being made behind the scenes. Okay. I'm going to take a couple of minutes and lay out the a very dire situation right now. And just a day or two ago, Mike Rogers, a congressman who's involved in the intelligence committees in the United States, gave some information on a meeting that was held recently in Israel between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Dan Shapiro. Dan Shapiro is the Israeli, is the ambassador. Let me get his title exactly, because that's important. Dan Shapiro plays heavily into this. He is the American ambassador to Israel, so the American ambassador to Israel. Michael Oren is the Israeli ambassador to America. Dan Shapiro was on the former National Security Council. He's a Obama, an Obama guy. Well, Dan Shapiro was in a meeting in Israel with Benjamin Netanyahu, and Mike Rogers, the congressman from Michigan, I believe, from Michigan, Republican, chairs the House Intelligence Committee. He was in the meeting, and here's what took place. Benjamin Netanyahu blew his cork. That's what took place. He got extremely upset with Dan Shapiro, the representative of the Obama administration to Israel, regarding red lines. R-E-D-L-I-N-E-S. And in a military context, a red line is a line that you don't what? You don't cross, okay? Well, Netanyahu, in his obligation to protect his country, is simply saying, look, we got a country out there that wants to kill us, Iran. They say it, they're preparing for it. You tell us, you, President Obama and Dan Shapiro, you tell us you have our back. Okay, we want to know, at what point do what is all that creaking? Is that chair? Oh, you can't move. Duct tape that guy into the chair, will you? These mics are very sensitive, good mics. Dan Shapiro, Netanyahu asked Dan Shapiro, okay, you represent President Obama, what is the red line? And there's two elements to Iran's attack against Israel. One element is the capability to produce a bomb, which is contingent upon the enrichment process, taking uranium from 2, 3, 4, 5%, which is okay for medical use and other applications, to 18, 19, 20%. When you juice up uranium to that level, it doesn't like to stay together when it has a catalyst. It goes out all over the place, and it affects all the atoms, and you get fried, okay? Well, they're now at the point of having enriched uranium. So they have a weapon, they have an enrichment capability. They have junk that they can shoot through the air. They may or may not have the weaponization element together, a device to deliver it long range. Doesn't mean you can't put it in a small box and carry it through. So Netanyahu's trying to sort out these very critical red line moments and asking the ambassador from President Obama's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, what is the red line? When are you guys going to get involved? And he was getting mumbo jumbo from the individual that's supposed to provide clarity. And Mike Rogers and others report back that Netanyahu was furious because now Israel's seeing that President Obama is not going to have Israel's back in an attack. The administration, the Obama administration, feels more comfortable right now with containment of Iran as a nuclear power than the catastrophic result of a Middle East regional war between Israel and Iran and other nations that jump in. So that's the big picture. Digging down a little bit to the IPB, the intelligence preparation of the battlefield, Netanyahu has to see that the United States may not be a friend at this moment of need in terms of stopping Iran. Whether or not the United States supports Iran is up to people like the Tea Party in the United States, as we'll get into. But as Netanyahu looks around November 7th, 2012. If you look to the north, we have Syria in a civil war. They're decimating one another. The religion of peace, Islam, are slicing each other's heads off because they hate each other, number one. We have Hezbollah in Lebanon that has a little bit, this is the intelligence preparation of the battlefield that Netanyahu and his advisors have to analyze in order to determine an attack. They look at Hezbollah. Hezbollah's become a political figure in Lebanon. Do they really want to get decimated by Israeli capability? Because if they start shooting those, and myself and some of the folks in this room just a couple of months ago were standing at the Lebanese border in Israel looking over, and the Israelis have the place targeted. And if a couple of missiles start coming in and hurting people, Israel's going to level South Lebanon. So Hezbollah is striking their head going, okay, we like Iran, but do we want to get Do we want to get level? Go over to Jordan. King Hussein's biting his fingernails, hoping that the Arab Spring, the Muslim Brotherhood basically, doesn't get too involved in his country, and they're making moves right now. Go down to Egypt. We've got wonderful fun and games in Egypt with the Muslim Brotherhood, Mohammed Morsi, who, by the way, is coming to the United Nations on the 23rd of September. We'll be there to greet him. Then he's going to Washington, D.C. We'll be there, too, to greet him. He has just, the United States has just suspended military maneuvers and practice exercises with Israel, cut back tremendously, and now engaged in the Egyptian army, working with the Egyptians to assist them in defending their country. But Egypt right now is extremely weak militarily. Gaza, Hamas there 2 days ago, it was their 30th anniversary, 23rd anniversary. And they declared once again that they will never recognize Israel as a nation. And Hamas obviously can be wiped out in a matter of seconds. So Israel's neighbors are extremely weak. You got this raging maniac, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. He's not really a maniac. He's a man infused by his theological beliefs and his political view of supremacy and controlling the Arab world. You got all of that together. And Netanyahu, pray for Netanyahu, everybody. I mean, he's got a tremendous amount of weight on his shoulders. He's got to make a decision. And if he concludes, as I have concluded, that this administration is not going to help him, certainly not preemptively, it's up to people like us as to whether or not in a post-attack mode the United States does what it's supposed to do. Netanyahu has to make a decision. And unless Mitt Romney is ahead by 25 points October 1st, Iran is getting hit by Israel. It's that simple. Now, if that happens, guests, you guys are going to be called into action because you are, whether you realize it or not, you guys, my guests today, have positioned yourself by design and by default in a unique way in the United States to mobilize literally millions of people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet my two guests today. We're going to switch over to the two guests. You can zoom out a little bit. And on my right, camera left, is...
I'm Danita Kilcullen, Broward County, Tea Party, Fort Lauderdale.
And who's that guy next to you there?
That's Scott Spages of the AFP and Faith Forum. He can introduce himself.
Does he speak? Do you speak, sir?
I think he's ready.
On the squeaky chair? We need some WD-40 over here. Yeah, Scott, just move up to the mic and say hello. Who are you and what are you doing here with your green shirt? What is it, St. Patrick's Day here?
No, I'm here, well, I think I'm here representing Americans for Prosperity.
Okay.
We don't have a lot to do with foreign policy.
That's true, yeah.
That's a separate issue. So I am the Broward County Field Coordinator.
You wear many hats, though. What are some of your other hats?
Well, I do run the monthly meeting at Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale, called Faith Forum. And we're ready to start digging those bunkers if that's what's needed.
Yeah, what we're going to do is get a little bit of background about you, both of you, who you are, why you're here, you know, what your backgrounds are, how you got involved in this crazy business of saving America, and then I'd like you to tell us a little bit about Americans for Prosperity, known as AFP, and your other hats too, because right now you're here for AFP, but you're going to be called upon to do a lot of stuff. So give us a little bit about your background. And, you know, you could be doing a lot of things. Why are you doing this?
Sure. Well, I'm a 25-year political activist, and I just think it's my calling. I mean, I can remember even as a kid watching the news on television and taking a very strong interest and fascination with that. At Calvary, we run a monthly meeting where we empower Christians to impact their government and their democracy through faith and education, and I just think it's very important in this country we get the church back involved. I think it's time we... united the church and state as it was originally. And in my professional career with Americans for Prosperity, we have the opportunity to talk about American exceptionalism. Why is America exceptional? Why is America the economic engine that it is? What are the principles that made America great and have gotten us to this point where we now have a president who wants to redistribute our wealth?
And Danita, why are you in this game? I mean, you could be doing whatever you want, you know?
Nope. I'm destined for this. I was involved, Tom, with you before there ever was a Tea Party, and I was involved with such movements as the illegal immigration issues, etc. Been to many, many protests, both with you and with Reverend Dozier and these different issues. And then I heard Rick Santelli, and the following week there was a Tea Party, and we had 200 and some people on the corner at Oakland Park Boulevard and Federal Highway. And there was an issue brought up when the next Tea Party was, and one person said, "Oh, we'll let you know," and I said, "No, it's next week," and the other person said, "No, we'll let you know," and I said, "No, it's next week," and it has been every week on that same corner since that day. Every Saturday, we're there with our signs and our flags.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Also, we have a forum following that, with speakers and sometimes just our own core group, and we've had many, many speakers, including you, Tom.
Yes, I have been there many times. It's what, Nick's, right? Nick's restaurant?
Well, it's at Umberto's if it's small, Nick's if it's big.
Oh, big one. Great food, great Italian food. Are you going to have something this Saturday?
Yes, we are. Yes.
What are you having this Saturday?
We've got Matt Barber.
Oh.
And what is Matt
Liberty
Barber?
Counsel.
Yeah, Liberty Counsel.
Attorney, yeah.
Yeah, great guy. And we have Doug Giles, who is who's an author and a pastor and the father of Hannah and Regis. Hannah is the one who blew Acorn apart when she posed as a prostitute. And we have Tom Trento also.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm there
You're going to
too.
be
That's
announcing
right.
your new radio TV business.
Yeah, this new circus we got going on here. How many weeks consecutively have you guys met on the corner?
Ooh, I'm going to say 185 to 190
All right, let's give
now.
them a hand for that. That's pretty good. 180 weeks in a row. That's pretty amazing. And every time I drive by Saturday, there's a good group there with flags and trucks and noise and this, and
That's right.
it's fabulous. Scott, I had another. Oh, you're in a book. Let's. Can we put up Danita's book on so the folks can see it? Hold it to that camera right there. And we want to show the book. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, I got a call from this man, David Brody, and he said he's writing a book on T-evangelicals.
T-evangelicals?
Yes.
Yes. Play on words.
The Tea Party is made up of libertarian. He describes it very well in this. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. I really loved it. And he describes it in here as the Tea Party being made up of libertarians and evangelicals, people of faith, but largely those two groups, and how we've come together. Libertarians don't really depend on their faith or anything, but evangelicals do. And what
do libertarians depend on?
Well, they're not really.
We got to get some in here.
The thing that we have in common is that we all want less government. We agree on all those things.
Sure. Yeah.
Libertarians don't go with the social issues like evangelicals do.
Yeah, no. And what are the 2 or 3 core elements of the Tea Party? Let's just introduce what the primary concerns are.
Well, it's that. It's
smaller
the same
government.
thing. Smaller
what else?
government. Yeah, fewer taxes. But we go much beyond that with our social issues of
the T-evangelicals do.
That's how.
But
yes.
Scott, you're primarily dealing with AFP on financial issues.
That is correct.
What is the core mission of AFP? Well, excuse me one second. Danita, you have a website?
Yes.
What is it?
www.teapartyfortlauderdale.com.
www.teapartyfortlauderdale. We're going to bring it up on the screen for the folks at home watching. There it is right there. www.teapartyfortlauderdale.com. Pretty website.
Thank you.
Red, white, and blue. How surprising.
Hey, do you notice the racism in it? Can you see how racist we are?
The most racist Tea Party in America. Whites, blacks, Cubans, something else. It disappeared. What does all that mean?
Oh, well, it means that on the pictures that you can see that we have many blacks standing there with us on most Saturdays as well, and we're heavily involved with many Jewish folks. So.
Yeah. That's the left's view of the right is
a lie.
Articulated beautifully over the past couple of days at the DNC in Charlotte. Maybe we'll get into that. Scott, you got a website?
Sure. We have a lot of websites, but the core website is AmericansForProsperity.org. but there's a Florida version of that. There's
Wait a minute, wait. In our magical studio.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Not yet.
Not magic.
We have your website.
There's a lot. Let me give you the core question surrounding Americans with Prosperity is this: what are we trying to accomplish? There's an assumption that it's about winning elections. It's not. We are a nonpartisan, not-for-profit. We're about trying to change the political discourse. If we approach government reform through elections, we'll always be fighting the next election and we'll always be chasing candidates. If we reform government by shifting the policy debate, by echoing the message of economic freedom, that will carry the day. And then we will get back to sound economic policies for America, no matter who is elected. It is a real grassroots movement. When I go out and speak to groups, it's about making that group Americans for Prosperity. It's not Americans for Prosperity is not a team of people out delivering a message. It's about empowering the American people back to the original message of what made the country great. Our founding fathers, in our Constitution and our Declaration, embodied personal liberty, personal freedom, which leads to economic liberty and economic freedom.
I can't argue with that. That sounds pretty good. And your specific mission with AFP over the next couple of months is what?
We've been working all year and will through the end of the year on key voter identification. We do voter surveys. We have field offices all over the country where we're making phone calls to very specific groups of voters. It's not the hard right and hard the left. We're concentrated more in the middle, more on those libertarians, the people that haven't made up their minds, and we have ways to score that and figure that out. And we have a very sophisticated phone system, or what we like to call the freedom phones, and those calls go to these people and we survey them. That allows us to then go back either by another phone call or by mail and do issues advocacy. Again, education, education, education.
And before we leave, guys, before the hour's over, I want very specific call to action steps on both of you, what people can do, because we got 61 days, to make something happen here. There was another point about what you're doing, Scott. Oh, I need both of you to take a look. Are we ready for our hate-filled rant? Not our Rick rant, but the other rant. We got another rant we'd like you guys to take a look at. And you're a Christian, Danita?
Yes, I am.
Are you too?
Sir,
okay,
yes.
You're both Christians. We had a little situation here in South Florida with a gentleman that I had an opportunity to debate a couple of times. And we want you to take a look at this. This is Mark Alan Siegel, the head of the Democrat Party here in Palm Beach County. And he made the news the other day. Actually, the person interviewing him, we met at the RNC, Scotty Heller or something. I forgot her name. She did a great job questioning him, and now it's all over the internet. And let's take a look at Mark Alan Siegel.
I'm Jewish. I'm not a fan of any religion other than Judaism.
So you're not a fan of Christianity, who truly tries to protect the Jewish faith?
No. The Christians just want us to be there so we can all be slaughtered and converted and bring on the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Now, wait a minute. Now, where do you get that?
Let me finish. They're not our friends. They want Israel to pursue policies which are antithetical with its security and existence. The worst possible allies for the Jewish state are the fundamentalist Christians who want Jews to die and convert so they can bring on the second coming of their Lord. It is a false friendship. They are seeking their own ends and not ours.
You sound like you're the opposite of anti-Semitic. You're anti-Christianic?
No, I don't believe that the fundamentalists urging a greater Israel are friends of the Jewish state.
You know, it's interesting is David Barton of Wall Builders has often read a letter. He has a letter from a rabbi from Dallas. I don't remember the rabbi's name, but the rabbi basically wrote a letter and basically said the following. He said in the 5,000 or 6,000 year history of the Jews, they've never had it as good as in Christian America. And that's a fact.
Oh, that's very interesting. When did was that the first time you've seen that little rant?
Correct.
You have not seen that?
No, it's a very hate-filled rant. Very sad that man feels. I feel bad for him. I'm not angry with him. I just feel bad that he misses the beauty of America and our Constitution and our shared we have shared Judeo-Christian values. That is the foundation of this country. There's shared Jewish and Christian values, and we're integrated. There's no doubt.
He's not just a guy. He is President Obama's appointment, essentially. I think it's an elected position. But he is the representative of Palm Beach County to the White House.
Yeah.
This is President Obama's guy. It's amazing. He and Debbie Wasserman Schultz are joined at the hip. Both of them are constructing the philosophy and the activism in Palm Beach, Broward, and this key demographic for President Obama. I'm going to, Mark, I think Mark got President Obama's comments. I think this gentleman, Mark Allen Siegel, issued an apology. But let's get Danita's thoughts first. We'll go to the apology, then we'll go to the President's comments. Yes.
Well, it's an outrage. I've heard this man twice in the debates with you and Alan Bergstein, and it does not surprise me after hearing what I've heard from him before in these debates. There were definitely, in the last debate, there were definitely anti-Christian overtones in the room. I heard it more than once. I heard it from the audience. I heard it from Barry Silver, and the rant that this guy gave there at the debate was the most unreal thing I've ever seen. It was so robotic, and but this man is wrong, and all that he has said that we are about is absolutely not true about the Christians and the Jews. I mean, our heart, he couldn't know the Bible, because if he did, he would know that Christians are called to support Israel in every way.
Yeah, he's got off on something. I've actually heard some other Jewish people talk about, this sort of thing.
Okay.
And I can understand an uninformed lay Jewish person having confused views about Christian eschatology. I could understand that, because I've been asked these questions a lot as a Christian. It's inexcusable for a political official in a key state, in a key county, to make comments that are so completely uninformed. It does reveal a bias and a hatred. He did apologize, though, and I'm looking for his apology here.
It's also not very strategic, and the only thing worse maybe would be if you left God and Jerusalem out of the platform.
Yes.
And then had 3 votes on it and lost all 3 votes.
Right.
Unbelievable. What you think about that?
Oh, I'm telling you, it
was
laughable.
a comedy show.
It got, the nose got louder every single time. It's brown shirts.
I have to admit, I thought Clint Eastwood was bizarre. I thought it was a bad choice. I thought there was a few other bad choices. All in all, a good Republican convention, but not great. I thought the Democrats were going to knock it out of the park. I don't think they could have possibly botched it worse, other than that the media is covering for them.
Yeah, we were watching that night. We were at the convention, a group of us from the United West, live streaming all of that. We watched Clint Eastwood on TV, and we go, what the heck is that, right? And that was a little sidestep. Some folks thought it was good. But this Democrat convention completely went off the rails. Completely. It is imploding, right? Mark Allen Siegel issued this apology. Now, we're trying to get to the bottom of this to find out if indeed he has resigned. I know some Democrats are calling for his resignation, but this is big news. He did issue an apology. I apologize to all Democrats and Floridians for my ill-chosen words last night. After watching the interview, I realized that what I said did not accurately make the point I was trying to establish. I really hate Christians. More importantly, I apologize to all Christians, Jews, and people of other faith for any embarrassment or anger my remarks may have caused. I mean, it's embarrassment to him. My mother told me a long time ago, sticks and stones will break your bones.
That doesn't mean anything. His apology. His apology. It's what's in his heart, and he's doing it because he's under pressure. That's the only reason.
It's a political move.
Absolutely.
Throughout my life, I practiced religious tolerance amongst all people of faith. Yeah, sure. How do you say stuff like that? That I'm sincerely sorry for any remarks, and they're holding a gun to my head for me to have to write this stuff. And I made that diminish the record. I am responsible alone. I pray that nothing is reflected upon the Palm Beach Democrat Party. Well, we got a comment from the president on this. Then the president. Let's hear about that comment. We're waiting for the comment from the president.
It's playing, Tom.
Oh,
it's actually playing.
Okay. It's a silent comment from the president. Oh,
direct from the White House.
The president who gets involved in having beer parties with his friends to sort out little difficulties. when one of his key guys in a key state, in a key county, in the middle of the biggest election, does something like this to a key demographic, the White House is silent. How interesting. How interesting. Somebody on the line? Who's on the line?
We have Jack Gillis on the line, Tom.
Oh.
Well, first let's cue up the clip from Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Her comments.
Okay, her comments and
I'll play
okay.
that right now.
All right, let's play that one. Here's Debbie Wasserman Schultz putting into context Mark Allen Siegel's hatred rant toward Christians.
Can't wait to hear from this tart.
Oh, there it is, another silent comment.
Not,
oh my God.
And I'm posting your written comment up on the screen right now.
Oh, there's the posted written comment. Oh, it's invisible ink. Debbie,
is she coming on the show? Maybe
Deb,
on the show.
Yeah, we should invite her. Debbie, you're always welcome on the show. They would never come on this show. I mean, you're kidding me. They're afraid of this kind of stuff. They have not, well, tactically, they have nothing to gain by coming on a show with where their ideas get pulverized. What are we doing with Jack? We're going to try to Skype him in?
We're going to try to Skype him
Hey,
in.
folks, we got something fascinating for you. Our goal over the next several months here is to develop a first-class television program for the radio audience and the viewing audience. So we're experimenting with all kinds of technologies. Right now, we're taking Jack Gillis, a Tea Party activist in Palm Beach County, sort of...
Broward County.
Oh, Broward County, that's right. He's down there. We're taking him and squeezing him through the electrons in the air. He's going to come out on your screen, we think, through the beauty of Skype. And we're going to make sure that his lips and his words actually come together. If not, we're going to zap Jack and get rid of him, and we'll talk to him later. Let's see what it looks like.
Well, no, not yet.
Not yet. But I got other stuff for you guys. Let's do this. I wanted to get into, can we put the Tea Party figure playing?
Hey, Tom, Jack is on the line at the station, so you can say hello, and he's ready to talk at any time.
Yeah, well, we're trying to match his picture with his words. So we're doing a workaround here. We're testing. Jack's cool. Put him on ice. Tell Jack to hang loose, okay? Any life on that, Mark? Or what's going to happen?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, really?
Okay, got it.
Want to go with it?
Yep, go.
Hey, folks, we're going to try this. This is a first. With all these cameras and all this stuff, we're going to try to Skype somebody in, and then we're going to bring you people from all over the world. Jack Gillis, who's the... You're talking on a phone, and you, what a good-looking guy. Man, he is a good-looking guy, let me tell you. Yeah, not bad. Uh-oh, it's me. It's back to me. So, Jack, tell us what you are doing and how people can get involved with your activism over the next 60 days.
Absolutely.
Palm Beach and Broward. There we go. The three of you are wiring Palm Beach and Broward County in terms of the conservative movement and a place for people to go to do something. Let's take a one step back to look at Mark. You have Rick's other rant up there.
Yes.
The second half. Let me play for the three of you and for the viewing audience and the listening audience. Rick Santelli, right? Rick Santelli. The second part of his rant that day, February 19th, 2009, And he makes some extremely interesting points on the economic issues, Scott, stuff that you're dealing with. And then I want to put together what's taking place in Palm Beach County, why the issues from a conservative point of view of the economy, of less taxes, less government, is so critical here in Palm Beach County, and what people can do specifically getting involved with you guys. Here's Rick Santelli once again.
Jason,
You get people fired up.
Jason, you want
We're
to?
thinking of having a Chicago Tea Party in July. All you capitalists that want to show up to Lake Michigan, I'm going to start organizing.
What are you dumping in? What are you dumping in this time? Housing,
I'm going
cars?
to be dumping in some derivative securities. What do you think about
Mayor
that?
Daley is marshaling the police right now.
Listen, all I know is that there's only about 5% of the floor population here right now, and I talk loud enough they can all hear me. So if you want to ask them anything, let me know. These guys are pretty straightforward, and my guess is a pretty good statistical cross-section of America, the silent majority.
Not so silent majority.
Yeah, not so
today.
silent.
So, Rick, are they opposed to the housing thing, to the stimulus package, to everything out there?
You know, they're pretty much of the notion that you can't buy your way into prosperity, and if the multiplier that all of these Washington economists are selling us is over 1, then we never have to worry about the economy again. The government should spend $1 trillion an hour because we'll get $1.5 trillion back.
Wilbur?
Rick, I congratulate you on your new incarnation as a revolutionary leader.
Somebody needs one. I'll tell you what, if you read our founding fathers, people like Benjamin Franklin and Jefferson, what we're doing in this country now is making them roll over in their graves.
There's Rick Santelli. That was February 19, 2009. Though there were movements and activities, though there was movements and activities before that date that were labeled Tea Party, it really wasn't until that day that the energy of the Tea Party came together. This is Tom Trento. It is the 7th of September, about 15 minutes at the top of the hour. We're broadcasting out of Palm Beach, more specifically the city of Boca Raton, on WWNN 1470 on your dial. But also we're broadcasting video through the internet on TrentoVision.tv. So don't forget, you can listen to the show this evening, 8 to 9, or you can watch it anytime on Trento Vision TV. Go there. We've archived each show each day. The topic today is Tea Party Friday, Tea Party activism, number 1, and with AFP here, Americans for Prosperity, Scott Spages, we're talking specifically about long-term philosophy of arguing the issues to win the intellectual battle. Would that be correct in that sense?
That's absolutely true. We're a very strong national organization. We have 2 million people following us nationally. In Broward County alone, I have a database of 4,400. We have over 100,000 in Florida, so it's a very strong base. Another website your listeners might want to check out and your viewers is 5forflorida.com. That's the word 5, the word 4, Florida.com. And there are 5 core principles we're asking everyone to go online and endorse.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Go online and endorse it. You can right there on the website send it to everybody who's that everyone, that all of these legislators would be committed to when they got elected, because we know right now we have their attention. We know on November 7th we won't have their attention. We currently in Florida, and we're not Republican or Democrat, we'll go after either side. So right now in Florida you got a Republican governor, a Republican cabinet, and a Republican House and Senate. And on November 7th, you're pretty much going to have the same thing. So the question is, what are they going to do? Are they going to listen to us on November 7th or the lobbyists? That's 5 for Florida. Go to the endorsements page. Everybody out there listening, endorse the 5 for Florida plan. There's 5 key points. I don't know if we have time to just...
Yeah. What are they?
Point
all the time in the world here. You kidding me?
Point number 1, we have a 5.5% state corporate income tax. We'd like to eliminate
you're playing
that.
on the fly at 5. I see. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'd like to eliminate the corporate income tax in Florida. That's like putting up an open for business sign in Florida. You know, we complain when in Washington, D.C., they pick winners and losers. Well, we do the same thing in Florida. We go to corporations and say, hey, if you relocate here, we will we'll cut you a break on your taxes. Well, let's do away with that. Let's just bring the business here. As they generate revenue, they will generate taxes, and there'll be more jobs then. Point number 2, don't make financial promises that taxpayers can't keep. We're talking specifically about the pension system that we have for public employees. It doesn't work. They're never fully funded, and whenever the market...
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of Democrats to go for that one, but go ahead.
Well, whenever the market takes a dip, then we either have to fire people or come up with more tax dollars. Let's put government workers in a 401k program instead of a pension like the rest of us.
Okay.
And the benefit to the worker, by the way, is that how many government workers have you ever seen that are happy in their jobs?
Yeah, no, of course.
But they're tethered to that pension and they can't leave it. So if they're not happy with their job, they can take their 401k and go to a different department or a different career.
I vote for that one.
Point number 3, and this came in part from Jeff Atwater, our CFO, and last week he endorsed the Five for Florida plan. Be stewards of good, transparent government. What we want to do is put all renewable government contracts online. Currently, people get to renew contracts, and there's really no review process. I'll give you 2 quick examples. In Miami-Dade County, there's a school that's run that does a college preparatory type work. Now, that person gets $1 million a year to do that, and it's renewed with a simple filling out of one form. We'd like a review process online where it's transparent because we don't know if that person's doing a great job or if they're just buying them a cap and gown and wishing them good luck.
I mean, there's a lot of contracts like that with cities, sure.
Exactly. Point number 4, empower kids with the best education by allowing for parent triggers. Education is one of our core principles. We want parent triggers. We want the tax dollars to follow the student. It'll create a more competitive environment. And point number 5, while Florida is generally a business-friendly state, we are the 4th most burdensome state to start a new business. We'd like to have a review of all the regulatory processes other than health and safety. So we're going to leave nursing and physical therapy alone. But it's my understanding, for example, to be an interior designer, it's a 3-year process. Does it really need to take that long to be an interior designer and to get licensed? So those are the 5 key points. We'd like to have everybody endorse that. We want to push it out to the candidates and get them to endorse it. And then we know on November 7th we'll have some core principles.
Well, they just popped up on the screen. Folks at home can see the 5 core principles right there. Danita, does the Tea Party have any argument with any of those?
Oh, absolutely not. All for it. We've endorsed Scott's the AFP and all the 5 for whatever it is.
All right. Well, this is good philosophical kind of heady stuff.
Yeah.
But let's get in the street. I mean, we got work to do.
Okay.
We got to get our shoe leather, jam it in the street, and knock on doors and make things happen.
Right.
And you guys are doing that. You're bringing people. If somebody wants to volunteer, first of all, how did they get in touch with you? You got a number that? What's the quickest way, Scott, for people to get in touch with you?
Well, a lot of things. First of all, whether it's at Jack's office, who was just on the phone with us from Florida Family Action, or our offices. We have 17 offices in the state. They can call me at 954-452-3738, and I'll be happy to direct them to one of our offices. My email is sspages@afphq.org. They can email me. They can call me. Saturday, October 13th, we're going to have the bus tour coming through the South Florida area, Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach. That is Obama's Failing Agenda Tour. And again, they can see that on our Facebook page. They can see that on our website. And the bus tour there'll be rallies with the Tea Party, and we work very nicely with the Tea Party. But it's really about getting give us 2 hours. Just if everybody listening would come out and give us 2 hours on the phones, we make so much headway in terms of getting those surveys. It's a very simple phone call. Our Freedom phone system is very efficient. You actually don't even have to dial a phone. You call into an 800 number, and it gets people on the phone for you. We make it so easy. We feed you.
Wild.
We feed you. We got prizes. We got giveaways. We have a lot of fun. But we need live bodies.
Do you ever have speakers come and entertain the people?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Tomorrow at noon at the Sunrise Action Center, Tom Trento's going to be there.
Oh man, I'm going.
Noon to 1.
He's going to be there. I'm going.
And I understand whether you want to know whether you want to know the date, time, and place that Iran is going to get bombed, or if you want to know what he eats for breakfast. I understand he's going to answer those types of questions. Sunrise Action Center, 10,001 Northwest 50th Street in Sunrise, Suite 106, and we will have lunch for people and things of that nature.
Great. In the green room, just make sure I only eat red M&Ms. Okay, so make sure that happens. How do people get in touch with you, Danita?
Well, they can write to they can go on the website. Our email is teapartyftl@gmail.com. And if they want to be part of us on the corner or enjoy the speakers we have and all that, they can just write there and get that. And there's lots and lots of work to be done between now and November 6th, and also following November 6th for the Tea Party and where we're headed and all that we have to do.
Well, that's a fascinating question. And for the viewers and the listeners, if you didn't get all the information, Tom at TrentoVision.tv, name of the thing you're looking at, and my name. Get to me, I'll get you to these guys. The 7th. Is that Jack? Is he with us still?
I'm still here.
Oh, you're there. Let's see if we can we bring him back up or no?
No.
No. All right, just Jack, you're on the line. How can people get in touch with you? And do you have as much fun as these guys at your? I get your emails and all of that, and it sounds like you got a whole rockin' place going on. Tell us a little bit about your phone call centers.
Well, we have actually 2 locations. We just opened up grand opening of our Boca Raton satellite office, and so that had a very, very good response yesterday. I'm just waiting here. I've got a whole group of homeschoolers coming in here, starting at 3 o'clock. We'll be spending the next 4 hours here for a big teacher party, getting their community service hours. And if people want to reach us, they can reach me via email, jackg@flfamily.org, or they can call our office here at 954-851-2237.
And Jack, I saw you sent me a note, Danita, 185 weeks
Okay.
tomorrow.
I was right on it.
185 weeks. Jack, you're doing amazing work. What is your message? When people sitting out there, they're listening, they're watching, and they're going, I don't know, none of these politicians make sense, and maybe that Romney guy's better. And what should people do? How do you get people out of their seats and into action? What do you want to tell them? Take 30 seconds and tell them.
Excellent. Well, right now people are out of their seats, and it's even getting worse, especially at the convention here and things that are going on. But the main thing is removing this administration, out of the White House. This is a disaster, especially our organization, because we're into social issues. When it talks about, abortion, marriage, traditional marriage, one man, one woman, where this administration is the most pro-abortion presidency of all time.
So let me interrupt you for a second, but I deal with national security issues. I've dealt with the pro-life issue all my life. I couldn't believe watching the Democrat National Convention. Every other thing was pro-abortion. I mean, it's become front and center for this party, like the Republican Party's making that a main issue. We got a world about to explode, and these people are just obsessed on this. Even 90-year-old ladies, and Sandra Fluke or whatever her name is, unbelievable. So you're fighting.
Not only that, Tom, but when you sit there and to take God out of their platform, the Democrat platform, and then they try to put it back in because of the embarrassment that this president has. And 3 times in a row, and people can go online and judge for themselves, the people, when they've called it to a vote, they wanted to keep God out of their platform. Shameful.
Yeah, I know. 30 seconds, guys. We're going to have to wrap this up. It's been a wonderful time. You'll be back again. We're going to bring you back in, get updates regularly, because both of you can put people to work, and they ought to go to work. Take 30 seconds each, and then I'll close the show for Wednesday.
Well, just lots to do. I think as a Tea Party, I think that we're going to have a lot of influence, and we're looking for victories, not concessions in Congress. And we're looking to rid our overburdened taxpayers of certain programs that are frivolous and unnecessary. And I think we have to really focus in on some of those things as we go forward.
Americans for Prosperity, please go to our website. Please go to our Facebook page. We have excellent information. Too many bad emails out there. We put out good information. I recently heard somebody put it this way. The country is in this position. If a husband and wife were making $52,000 a year, which is a good income, but they're spending $75,000 a year, and they're $350,000.
Have you been in my house?
And they're $350,000 in debt. If you were the banker, would you loan them another dollar?
Yeah, no,
That's
good point.
the situation this country's in right
It's
now.
a situation we can change in a 60. Are we going to win, guys? Are we going to win in 60 days? We are. We're going to win. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Trento here with Scott Spages, Danita Kilcullen. You got to get in touch with us. You got to get involved. Take time off. Figure out how to get involved in this fight over the next 60 days, and we can save America. It can happen. We must do it. Tom Trento signing off. Our first week, successful week, guys. We've had a wonderful time here.
Tom Trento,
send us
yes.
gifts, send us good Italian wine, send us whatever you got to congratulate us. We'll see you next week. We have a wonderful week planned for you.